Will's back's a little tight, so figured I'd give him an extra day, see how he comes in tomorrow, and then Mac's a little under the weather, and so I wanted to get him up there and get get an extra bat versus Ray, and I just felt like leaving Tuck in the 4. I like that. And got Dalton in there, so that's kind of the thought.
Is Bill's back a concern for you guys?
No, it's just more of, if I had him playing, 2 of 3, and so there's really no cost in giving him today and playing him tomorrow.
When did his back kind of flare up?
Yesterday, maybe a couple days ago. Just a little tightness, but nothing of concern right now, yeah.
With Shohei, has it been just like the last 5 games? Like, has it just been kind of weird for you, given what he's done the last few years, to see him even go through for a week a kind of slump like this?
Yes, you don't hear the word slump correlated with Shohei on the hitting side ever. So it is certainly unique. But yeah, he's working, and it'll balance itself out. But yeah, he's going through it right now.
Do you think any part of this is just like everything that goes back to being a full-time pitcher, and he's kind of having to relearn whether it's the time balance, kind of what it does with his body, and kind of work through that transition early on this year?
I think so. Last year there was a slow build-up where you could argue that, or the truth is that he was more focused on the hitting because there wasn't much demand on the pitching side. And then right now, you start the season where he's at with the innings and pitches and all that stuff, that you could argue that there's more focus on the pitching and there's more demand on the pitching and what we're asking of him. So there's got to be some, cuts into some of the bandwidth, the production on the offensive side. That's just common sense. So what it translates to, how he's been swinging the bat in the last, week, how much of that is the pitching, I don't have an answer for that, but that's to be understood, that there's some kind of cut into production, given how much he's pitching, yeah.
Is it something you guys kind of trust him to work through over the long term this season and find that right balance between the two, where he kind of looks more like the hitter you're accustomed to seeing?
I wouldn't say I think it's more of me talking to, the organization, the coaches, more so than Shohei. And I say that because he's going to want to do everything and feels like he can. And that's what great players, that's their mindset. So I think that in this particular situation, it'd be taken out of his hands.
He's had slower starts in April throughout his career. This one may be a little bit more extended based on what you just explained. Does that give you even more patience with him as he figures out how to balance this two-way role again through the first month?
Yes, absolutely. It does. I think he's a very smart player. Obviously, we know the talent. And I do see, like I said last night, I do think that there were some adjustments within at-bats. And so he certainly deserves more leash and more opportunity than essentially anyone, yeah.
What have you seen from him just behind the scenes, demeanor-wise? Is he adjusting anything in his routine, or how's he approaching this?
More time to the pitching and recovery. When you throw 100 pitches and you go that kind of effort, there needs to be more recovery. But as far as demeanor, very similar. When he pitches, there's that alter ego we've talked about that I definitely love when he's pitching. But as far as overall kind of persona, similar.
No, it's not like a bat slamming guy, but are there ways you can tell when he gets frustrated?
Yeah, I can. There's certainly no bat slamming, but you can tell that, some of the facial expressions that he makes, that he's very, he has high expectations for himself and in performance. So certainly not up to his standard.
What does anything to do with him getting hit?
I don't know. He is like a, finely tuned athlete. So, but I don't think there's any kind of, I haven't heard anything, and I haven't heard it from the training staff or the hitting guys that it's affected his mechanics. But, something like that could put him out of whack, but I don't know if that's it.
Shohei wants to do everything. Like, how much different is that to manage a two-way player? How receptive is he to when you kind of try and put on the brakes a little bit?
Very, very. He's very receptive to, how he's managed, but I do think that with that, sometimes you got to take it out of the player's hand. So, but when the decision is made, he's all on board. But given to his own thoughts and devices, he's going to, want to take every at bat, pitch every inning.